I'm here with Salka Gudmundsdottir, who is the writer of And the Children Never Look Back, which is on next week at hello.
Hiya.
So, And the Children Never Look Back is a play that is set on an island. Where did you get the idea from, or where did the inspiration come?
The inspiration kind of, well, I was working with Graham Maley, the director, and he basically just said to me, write what you want to write. And I'm really preoccupied with islands and with sort of isolated communities, and the way that you can get kind of stuck with a certain idea, or this idea of what society should be like in quite an insular way. Mm-hmm. It's actually something I've written about before, but in a completely different way.
Right.
Like, I think this is like slightly darker version of my last play actually. Okay. Which also had like an isolated community, people sort of refusing to face the truth about their lives. So yeah, it's something I'm quite preoccupied with. Yeah.
It's obviously a theme that speaks a lot to a kind of a Scottish audience. There are a lot, you know, that's identifiable to me to certain. But did you write it with an Icelandic audience in mind, or did you write it for, or did that make no difference to what you were writing? Did you just write from the idea?
I think I had more, because I knew this was probably going to be staged in Scotland, at least first. Mm-hmm. I did have that more in mind. Right. But then again, there's so many similarities. Like, there's a lot of similarities between Scotland and Iceland, and kind of there's some sense of a shared heritage, or maybe a shared sense of mind in there. So I initially wrote it in quite sort of plain English, and then Graham Maley took it and translated it really, sort of turned it a bit more Scottish and a bit more real, because when you write something in completely plain English, it's always going to be completely flat. And like no one speaks like that.
What really kind of struck me when I first read it was the whole folkloric element and how you tied that into the story. And again, that kind of really resonated with me and I think that might be something that two countries kind of tied together, as kind of similar myths and
there's the closeness to the sea as well, which is really important for the Icelandic mentality. And like, we've got so much folklore having to do with something coming out of the sea doing something, the sea almost being like a character. And when we sort of looked at the first draft of the play, Graham Maley immediately started talking about that he was seeing a lot of similarities and sort of this idea of the sea almost as a person, or with a sort of greater power.
Which is quite strong. So Graham's directed Jupiter, The Deep and Angels for us before. Have you worked with Graham before? How did that come about?
We met in Iceland actually, through kind of friends of friends of friends. So that's what it's like in Iceland. It's a very small community. And we were kind of just looking for an opportunity to do something together. We kind of sort of knew of each other. And then we just clicked right at the sort of idea stage, and we just started sort of, throwing things back and forth and seeing what we came up with.
That's great. And so we don't know you a lot over here. What else have you been up to, or what plans have you got for other projects?
And this is actually a really busy winter for me. I've got 3 things opening in Iceland. Right. I've got a play for the City Theatre, which is part of it's a young playwrights project that they've got going, where they initially got 6 young playwrights to submit ideas in the first draft, and then they chose 3 of them. So I'm going to be one of those presented in opening in March, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
And then I'm writing for the National Theatre in Iceland for a youth project as well. Just fantastic. It's like a culture festival all over Iceland, with actors aged 13 to 20. So it's a completely different sort of mentality to have to get into to write for them. And then I've got my own theatre group back in Iceland, and we're actually doing a new children's play.
Brilliant.
God.
So there's a lot of different things.
A lot of different things. It's brilliant. Very lucky playwright.
Brilliant. Well, we're lucky to have you. One last question. So having come over here, what are your impressions of Aurora, the play of High?
It's fantastic. I did know the place slightly before, because I lived in Glasgow for 2 years. So I used to come here. I was one of the regulars, So for me, it's a massive honour to get to go on the other side of things and just it's incredible, and it's been quite inspirational for me as well, just to watch what the process is like, and there's this massive sort of energy because it's all sort of just happening now, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.